Greetings, YouTube. This is Kamishita, the traveling spiritual soaper, and welcome to my corner. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for the cocoa powder. Thank you for joining me today. This is Kamishita's corner. We're making soap, like always, and this is not another episode. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I'm making hemp soap, and hemp kind of smells to me like opium a little bit. So here's my oils inside my container, and this was my lye water that I just put in there, and my soap base was a little bit yellow, so I put some titanium dioxide in there just to help with to even out the colorant a little bit. Now I'm going to be doing a different kind of soap making skill today. I saw this video on YouTube, of course. I can't remember whose channel it was. But how they did their design for the soap was so cute. So they used like a bottle, and they poured the soap over the top of the bottle and let it but I've seen that before with other things, but not with a bottle. So I want to kind of do the same thing with my soap blender, because it has holes on the side. It's a soap blender. See how it has these holes? So I'm going to I don't know if you can see them. Can you see the holes? So I'm going to pour the soap in here and let it spew out of the holes and see, but not for this one. I'm going to use a different one, because this one is kind of deep. It's a little deep in there. The other one isn't as deep. Anyway, we're going to see if that makes a cute little design. We'll see. So I want to do more than one colorant. So we're going to have white. We're going to have a blend, a shimmering type of red. And we're going to have brown. So it's kind of like fall colors. Kind of like fall colors. A little bit. So, yep, we're going to be doing 3 colorants. Well, this red is more like to me it looks like a bronzy brickish kind of shimmering red. Anyway, I don't know what color it is. It's called Red Vibrance. But, yeah, it's kind of copperish, bronzy, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, maybe you can look at it and see what I'm talking about. It's pretty. So that's going to be one. And another one of the colorants that I'm going to use is cocoa. Using my cocoa powder. Unsweetened, of course. No sugar. I don't know if y'all can hear them. They are making all kinds of noise. I was going to use a little black, but I don't think I am. I'm just going to use white. So we'll have white. We'll have like that reddish looking color. And we'll have brown. Alright, so put the colorants off to the side for now. And let's blend. I'm going to stick blend this. I don't know what they're talking about, but they are so loud. My daughter has her girlfriend is here. She has company. And they're doing TikTok vines and all kind of stuff. Anyway. So as I'm making soap today, I want to talk to you a little bit about a Kemetic holiday called the Charm of Aishat, which is a holiday that comes in this month. It's at the beginning of this month. It's the 6th of Penit, and which was in the first decan, the first week, or decan, that's what we call Meteru. I just want this to stay blended, so I don't want to blend it too much, but I don't want it to separate again. So I'm going to do this one more time. And I think that's all I may have to do. I really want the soap batter to stay nice and fluid, because that is going to help. I tell you, every time, never fails. I could be filming, and if it's in the daytime, you're going to hear all kinds of beeping and sirens and horns. So, no, I'm not out in the street. Yes, you're hanging with me on my corner, but my corner is actually in my house, not in my street. Although you never know with all the noise that happens outside. All right, so I want this to stay nice and fluid as but I do want this to stay together. As I talked about the charm of Aishat. Now, the charm of Aishat happens on the 6th of Penit, which is the beginning of this month, and that is a day where can people kind of show off their abilities, their powers that they are, born with, and the gifts that they have, and they kind of show off their abilities. Okay? It is a day where we kind of honor the Neter Aishat for all of her abilities and the powers that she has. And you can spend that day meditating. You can spend that day doing some type of meditative retreat, doing some type of fasting, spiritual fast, of course. Cam have a way that we do our spiritual fast, but if you have a way that you do spiritual fast, but you want to honor Aishat on that day, on the 6th of Penit, you can do a spiritual fast in the way that you do. Okay, so white, we have bronze, we have cocoa. So I'm going to separate this now into 3 different colors. I think most of it is going to be white because the 2 other colors are nice and dark. So I don't want the soap itself to be too dark. So I want to have a good amount of white. Oh my goodness, potty mouth. I hear potty mouth in the background because my daughter, my spicy child, serrano pepper daughter, is talking and she is making all kinds of, oh my goodness, she's making all kinds of potty mouth. Okay, so that is the day that, people can really show off the abilities that they have. And if you're in Medita, Africa, in the village where they celebrate these kind of festivals, like the festivals where people maybe who have special abilities dealing with knives or something to that extent, they may have festivals where the people are taking those knives, rubbing it on their skin, the blade, the sharp part of the blade, and they're not getting cut. Or if your special ability is dealing with fire, you may have festivals where you'll see people doing amazing things with fire where they're not burning themselves. They may walk across, hot coals or doing all sorts of things with fire that seem impossible, but they're doing it because their gift is within that field, dealing with fire. You may find people who have their ability of dealing with like sharp glass and they're eating the glass and they're doing all kinds of what seems to be unimaginable things that can't be done, but they're doing it. They're accomplishing these feats. They're eating the glass and they're not hurting themselves. So on this day is a day where people kind of show off their abilities. And, we honor her, Aishat. And she's honored around the world. And she goes by many, many names. Aishat, Isis, Ast, Mary. There's a whole lot of names that she goes up on the different cultures at different time periods throughout history. And she is the Neter that we as women really, really try to, as Chem women, I would say, because we understand who she is and what she represents, Aishat, who Aishat is and what she represents, we really do our best to try to emulate her. So if you're a mother, trying to follow in the footsteps of Aishat, you're the epitome of being a good mother, a good wife, a good sister, a good woman. You want to emulate your life behind, if there's anyone you're going to look up to, it might as well be a divine entity, and if you're a woman, you want to look up to Aisha. You want to aspire your life to be like hers. It takes a lot of work, takes a lot of sacrifice, of course, but it's a good sacrifice and it's a good work. So who is Aishat? Well, first of all, she's an Eter. She's a god. She's a divine being. And in the Chem tradition, we have divine beings in 3 different forms. In self-created, created, and divine in gods in human form. And she is one of the gods in human form. And who was she? She was the person who helped her husband to realize his goal or his dream or his reason for being. Okay, she helped him to realize his potential. And she did that by using her divine powers, her gifts, and her abilities. She literally snatched her husband out of the hands of death, brought him back into life, and was able to conceive with him to bring forth the godchild Heru. Yes. So, and how did she help her husband to accomplish that? Well, I'm going to go into a little bit of what we call the divine or the holy drama to talk about what was the goal of. I don't want this to mix too much. Aquia, you guys are really, really loud. All right, so we're going to mix this a little bit. So I'm going to have to blend this. It's going to make some noise. So I'm wondering if I should start with this or that. Anyway, I'm going to start with this. All right, so we have the gods in human form who were Set, Asar, Aishat, Nebfest. So there are two divine couples, Set and Nebfest, Wusser, and did I say Heru? I meant to say Wusser. Wusser and Aishat was one couple, and Set and Nebfest was another couple. They were couples, and they were gods in human form. And both Heru and Set were given choices as to how they would like to live out their immortality. So, gods are immortal. They don't die. They're perfect beings, and they don't die. And they were given a choice as to how they would like to live out their immortality. So, all of that was being done off camera. Sorry. I'm not watching the camera. Set was like, yo, I want to live out my immortality as me. That's it. It's just me. It's all about me. I don't want to change. I just want to remain how I am. I don't need nobody. It's just me. It's all about me. So, that desire was granted. That wish was granted. So, Set never grows old. He never dies. He just remains the same. Wusser, on the other hand, decided he would live out his immortality through transcendence. Now, why is that important to us as humanity? Because if he had not made that choice, we wouldn't exist. We wouldn't be here. It was because of his choice to live out his life through transcendence that we have the opportunity to be. So, what does transcendence mean? That means that Wizard will grow, he will die, but he will be reborn because he is immortal. So, although he will die, he will be reborn through his descendants. And that's what exactly happened to him. He was born, and then he was killed by his brother, Set. Set was like, okay, so you want to live out your existence, your immortality through death? Okay, I will help you get there. So he killed him. But he killed him before he could conceive of a child, before he conceived of a child. So he actually died prematurely. So Aishat, being the wonderful woman that she is, God, of course, Neter, but being the wife, the wonderful wife, the loving wife, the epitome of love. She understands what love is. So if you want to understand what love, you want to think about how Aishat expressed her love to her husband, Wusser. Okay, so when he was killed by his brother, he was actually dismembered, cut into pieces, and dispersed. His body parts were dispersed throughout all of the world. Aishat used her powers, her gifts that she was given, and the sacrifice and the love that she had for him, her husband, and she found all the pieces, body parts. She was not able to find the phallus, but she found all the body parts, put it back together, and she snatched her husband out of the hands of death and brought him back to life. Refashioned the phallus and was able to conceive with her husband. He, of course, then died again and went on to create the Immantat, which is the place where we as humans strive to go after we transition this life and die. Is the place where, the only place where Set cannot go. Set has equal domain to the world, to this life, to this realm. So we can't get rid of Set. We can't get rid of that energy. He has the right to be here. And it's not an energy that will die. So we can't just, kill off that energy Set. No. And we as Chem understand that. We don't try to. We just try to contain that energy. All right, so we have our 3 colorants. We don't have our scent yet, so I'm going to add that in, and I'm going to hope that when I add this in, it doesn't create a accelerating effect on the soap. All right, so we want to mix these up. Let's mix them. I'm going to hand mix them because I don't want it to get too thick. And I'm hoping it won't get too thick in the weight, trying to get it out of the bowl and into our mold. Okay, so I forget where I left off. But that's what she did. She was able to conceive with Wusser. Aishat was able to conceive with Wusser and bring forth the godchild Heru. She made those sacrifices. She used her gifts and abilities in order to do that. And it was through her love that all of these things was able to be accomplished. If it wasn't for what she did, then he would not have been able to realize his potential, who he is, which is a God who cannot die. So if he did not conceive of the child, Heru, he was not able to have a child that he can transcend through, then he would not be able to realize who he is as a God, which is a deity that does not die, a divine entity that does not die. So that's the level of love and dedication and sacrifice that she was able to make, because she went through some stuff in order to do that. This is not the whole story, but if you're interested in the holy drama, learning the whole story, you can contact your nearest Earth Center, www.theearthcenterallspelledout.org, and you can get the CD, the holy drama, and you can learn more about that story. You can get the magazines. Some of those stories may be in the magazines. You can check out the Sunny Side magazine and you may be able to find that story on there as well. But the holy drama, I'm just giving you little parts of it just to kind of talk more about Trauma by Shot. So on the 6th day of Penipt, we take time to pretty much honor her and the sacrifice and the love that she had and her abilities and who she is and what she represents, especially for women. So if you are having difficulties being a mother, you can appeal to Aishat. If you're having difficulties being a good wife, you can appeal to Aishat for help. If you're having difficulties or you just want to exemplify the best of who you are as a mother, as a wife, or as a woman, then again, you can appeal to that energy, Aishat, to that divine entity. So, yes, so she's very important to us as Chem women, and she's very important around the world. She's also known as Mary. I can't remember all of the names that she goes under in different cultures around the world, but she's very revered even till this day under various names. Okay? Very, very important God that was, is, and always will be celebrated on this realm, on this earth. So yes, the sixth trauma of Aishat, that happened already. It happened in the first deity, the first decan of the month of Penit. Give me a minute. All right, so this is what I'm going to attempt to do, and I hope it comes out okay. Okay, everything is still fluid, which is good. I think I'm going to start with the white. So I'm going to pour it in here in hopes that it goes through the little holes and makes a nice design for my soap. So we'll see how well that works out. That may take a little bit of time. So I'll probably, when you're watching this, this will be done in fast forwarding. Uh-oh. Doesn't look like it's working the way I thought it would be working. It's just going out. It's not creating any type of separation of any kind. And I think if that's what's going to happen, that I'll probably just pour it in the center and do circles and call it a day. Oh wait, maybe it will work. We will see. Let's do white. Try to get it in the middle. Let's do brown. Yep, so we are attempting to do a different type of design. It's not really looking like it's coming out the way I thought it would, and it could be what I'm using. But we're going to continue on. We're going to forge forward with our new design type and see how well it works. And it's not bad from what I see. It's just not doing what I expected it to do. So, and the white soap seems to be pushing the brown and the yellow down. But we'll see. You won't really know the beauty of it until, of course, you see the cut. How nice it will actually turn out to be, you won't know until we cut it. So, this soap and the last soap that I just made, of course, it always, if you pre-order it, you can get it for $1 off of the online price, so you can get it at a small discount, because you'll have to wait to get it, because of course it's not ready yet. I just made it. But all you have to do is email me at kamishitacorner.com, and I will receive that email. You can buy 1 bar, 2 bars, or 3 bars. No more than 3 bars in the pre-order. And you will get this soap for $1 off the online price. Again, this soap is hemp. This is the hemp soap. And the other one that I made was a mixture of cranberry and apple. And that one had a little pencil line in it. So I didn't cut it yet. So I'll probably cut that. Not probably. I'll be cutting that on video so you guys can get to see that cut. Yep. Just email me and I will send you out an invoice, and then we'll go from there. And I did a lot of white. I think I'm gonna. Akria, you're cursing on my video. I don't know if you guys can hear them. I hope not, because they are not paying me any mind. Nada. Not a mind. Yeah, this smells like opium to me. That is the scent that I get when I smell this. It smells like opium. My daughter says it kind of smells like a musk, but a little bit sweeter than a male cologne. So I think the scent will appeal to both the men and the women and the cisgender. Okay, so this is the last of the white. And I'm going to eventually scrape that out. And then we have, I think I did this the wrong order. I'm not sure. Did we do brown next? But it doesn't matter because no more white. So after the brown, I'll be doing the red. Alrighty, guys. This is almost done. I thank you all for joining me on my corner today. Thank you for watching. If you have not already, consider subscribing. You can subscribe and you can hit the notifications bell. That way every time I upload a new video, you will be sure to be notified. Yes, you will get notified every time I upload a new video. And I hope you're appreciating these soap and spirituality episodes. Not all of them are episodes of soap and spirituality. Sometimes I'm just making soap or making lotion. Well, I don't do too much lotion making on camera, but I'm going to be doing more of that. Okay, down to the last bits. So I think I'm going to force this through the little holes that are there. Lift this up. Thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Please, if you have a comment about anything that I speak about, if you have a question about anything, you want to learn more, you can always, we have a lot of books at the Earth Center that can help you to understand the spirituality that I am speaking, the perception, the point of view that is coming from. I didn't make it up on my own. I didn't create this on my own. This way of understanding and approaching spirituality was learned through my initiation with the Earth Center. So that's where this comes from. And what we get from the Earth Center really isn't anything that can be... You can find some of this information in books, but they got their information from their elders and from people, teachers who they learned through. They didn't learn in the initiation camps from anyone out of any book or any academic setting or any academic information. It's information that had been passed down from their forefathers, from their ancestors, on down the line. That's how they learned in the initiation. So nothing, although some of this stuff you may find in books, nothing that you get are coming from that perspective of academia. It's all coming from the perspective of the initiation camps, because that's what the Earth Center represents. It represents the extended, the remaining schools are the extended schools that have been extended into the outside world, outside of the bush. Continuation of the mystery schools from Kemet. And that's what they represent. And the Earth Centers are here. They're open to you. None of the knowledge that we might have thought had been lost have been lost. It's just been kept in secrecy. And Nebnaba Lamusa Morindinibek is the spiritual healer and teacher who took on the charge of bringing that information back out of secrecy, back out of the bush, and into the diaspora, into our hands. So we give thanks to him for that, for the sacrifices that he made in doing that. And teaching us this very old way of honoring the divine world, honoring the ancestors, honoring ourselves through our being able to honor our ancestors in a very specific way that can appeal to anyone. Can appeal to anyone, anybody. Everyone has ancestors. You know, there's no one group of people that have ancestors while the others don't. All of humanity has ancestors, and we all have the opportunity to honor them and to revere them and to lift them up and to help to put them in a place where they can actually help us in our lives and not just be dead relatives, but be helpers of us in our lives, help us on our journey that we are on in this lifetime. Alrighty, so I am done. Again, if you're interested in purchasing this soap, you can just email me. Oh my goodness. Email me at kamishada@kamishascorner.com. I know you see that email that just popped up on the screen. And I will send you out an invoice. I'm going to bang this down. Give me a minute. Oh, I can't. Okay, there was something on my chair that I used to bang it down on. Alright, so I'm just going to texture the top. And then I'm going to bid adieu. Let's see, how am I going to do that? Okay. I don't know if y'all hear my daughters in the kitchen making all sorts of noise. Okay, you know what? I don't like the top actually looking like that. So give me a second. Okay, so I want to kind of create a bit of a different look. There are a group of Native American family that always come out here on Sundays, and they're doing like these dances and playing the drums and music. It's really nice. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I can hear it in my house. Okay, so this is still kind of runny, so I don't think I'll be able to get the type of look that I was considering with my spoon, but that's okay because this will be good enough. Alright, there we go. Thank you for joining me, guys, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!